When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
see you in Power Partners.
And although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
All my time, I want Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Barbara. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, on Tuesdays, I'm doing very good because I get to see you. We get to have the show.
You know, isn't that absolutely the truth? When you have something to look forward to and you do it consistently.
Yes.
You
know what? I was thinking about you. Well, I always, I think about you, especially on Tuesday morning when we're together. And I was thinking, I said, okay, what does she have today? You know how you always say today is this day, and
today
then
is
history. Do
you have something to look forward to?
Yeah, I know.
And the thing is, you're a strategy girl and you are a visibility girl and you talk about branding and that's your specialty, which is one of the things I love about you. The thing is that all these little things that I've been hearing from you over the years is that get known for something. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that I'm getting known for is my little National Day calendar because I love doing that. It's a little history lesson. Mm-hmm. However, people have known, it's like, oh, gee, Barb, I love your bright red lipstick. And I grew up with that. It wasn't quite kosher to wear bright red lipstick because professional women don't wear bright red lipstick. Anyways, so neither here nor there, but I've been getting known for my glasses. So what I thought, I just ordered myself a pair of glasses that match my lipstick.
Oh, wow. You really I'm proud of you because you're really branding yourself where people see you, they know that
they know. So I've ordered these bright red glasses but on to brag 1 little second. Yes, they're going to match my lipstick. However, they're also blue blockers and something else. So they're actually good for me. But they just happen to be red.
And they match the lipstick, and that's your brand.
And they match my lipstick. So it's like, okay, fine. So that's what I do. But anyway, so back to today. 2 things. Because one is, I think, is just really important. The first one is really important. The second one is fun.
Okay.
Today is the birthday of the National Guard.
See, I knew you would. Oh God, see that? Okay.
The National Guard. And what, and for everybody, whenever you see any military person, thank them for their service. It is so important. They have put their signature on the dotted line to protect us.
Yes, I always say that.
And so anytime you see a military person, whether it's the National Guard or Army, any of the armed forces, just go up and say, thank you for your service. And when I see with a vet, I live out in the country and they wear, P caps and they're veterans and it's like, I always say, thank you, thank you for your service, even though they served 40 years ago.
They still serve you.
But they served us.
Yes, they did.
They served us. They signed on the dotted line. So that's my speech of the morning. But anyways, so take a guess. When was the first National Guard?
Uh-oh. Pick a year, right?
Pick a year.
Ooh.
Or a century. I'll give you a hint. A century.
See, when you said century. Okay. 1819?
Nope. 17th century. December the 13th of 1636 was
at least I was in that.
You know it was back there. Well, I said century. Yeah,
a little bit more.
Just had to go back.
What was it?
1636.
36.
It was from the the Massachusetts General Court, and they established the official militia. It was the first one in the American colonies.
Wow. 1636.
So the National Guard. So thank you for your service.
Well, yeah, it's a long service. Because, for some reason, when you said century, that's why I went back. But I was really thinking it was maybe 1980s or somewhere around there. Not that far back. Wow.
1636. But to be a part of the National Guard, you have to be between the ages of 17 and 35. But the very first one, they took anybody between 16 and 60.
Oh, okay.
16 to 60. Quite a gap. But anyways, but now it has to be 17 to 35. And the thing is, though, we have so many young people coming up that are so lost and they don't know what they want to do. You know what? If you're listening to this and you're a parent, look into the National Guard. It's not military. It's military, but it's not full military. There are some other programs that they can do on like a weekend basis and things like that. And so, yeah, I would just really encourage people to look into the National Guard.
Yeah, that's it. Because I mean, I hear about it, but they don't really promote.
Right.
I don't hear it promoted that much, like I do the other military.
Exactly. Like they do the other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's our little history lesson of the day.
Good information. I told you I knew you were going to have something.
The thing is, okay, this is also a little bit of a history lesson, but it is like a fun history lesson.
Okay.
The other national day it is today is it's National Cocoa Day.
Cocoa. See, like Coco Chanel or Coco?
No, like in cocoa has in hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. That's what I was saying.
The thing is,
I wish it was Coco. The
Coco Chanel. Yes. She lives an interesting life. The thing is, cocoa has been around for 2,000 years.
2,000 years?
2,000 years. The Mayan, back from the Mayans. So that was like the Mayans came up to the Aztecs.
Okay.
Like around 1400.
Okay,
AD, 1400. Even that's way back. But then it came up to Mexico.
Okay.
Then because the Europeans came to Mexico, well, then it went into Europe. But
wow.
And it wasn't until like the 19th century that they used, and then in the 19th century, they used cocoa medicinally. And guess what for?
For healing? Maybe some for healing?
For stomachs. For stomach ailments.
Yeah.
So I can remember as a kid, like when we were feeling slightly off, and like, and really, I'm going to tell on myself, up until they discontinued it. How dare they discontinue it? Anyways, when I was not feeling well, I would go out and get Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh, they discontinued that for you?
They discontinued that flavor. I should see if I can order it from somewhere, but they don't. I can't find it anywhere.
Wow.
Anyways, but the chocolate, and now see. My mom would always say, "Oh, you can't eat chocolate ice cream when you're not feeling well, Mom." But that's what I want, and it'll settle my stomach. But now I knew that there was a basis for it.
So the cocoa.
Just saying that when I eat chocolate ice cream,
and when you eat chocolate ice cream, does it help you with your stomach? I mean, does it?
If I am not feeling well, I will have chocolate ice cream, and then of course, the other times that I'm having chocolate ice cream, I figure out something else, but it is medicinal.
Wow. See, I just learned so much. I'm telling you, Barbara. Just you getting the days, the national days is
National Day calendar. Yeah. So I do that on Tuesdays. And it really does. And it's fun. You learn things. And so like one of the things that my dad, as I told you, my dad lived to be 102.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that he always said. He would told us from the time we were kids, learn something new every day.
And I always say that. I always say that to people. I said, if you're not learning something new every day, then why are you even, I feel like, okay, you're kind of stagnant. You're just not moving or flowing the way you should.
Right. Because if you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, guess what the opposite is? You're dying.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that, but yeah, you kind of.
But sometimes people need to hear that, though. Once in a while, I've been known to do a little bit of tough love. Like one time a friend of mine was complaining about her schedule. And I think I've said this to you too. And I finally looked at her and I said, "So who's in charge of your schedule?" She said, "Well, me." And look in the mirror. If you're complaining about your schedule, who's in charge of your schedule? And she went, oh, right.
Like how you like, okay, reality check me.
Reality check. Reality check. If something is going, and I think the biggest lesson for today, then, little life lesson here from Barbara. If you are doing something if you are seeing something on your schedule, and I know I did this on one of the workshops that I did for you, or I don't remember where we were. Anyways, doesn't matter. But we were talking about schedule. And I said, if there is something on your schedule that is not serving you, that you just click it off and don't do it. Okay, make a decision today.
Yes.
You are not going to click off it. You are either going to do it, commit to it, or let it go and get it off your schedule. Take it off your schedule completely. It will free up, because otherwise you are expending energy, even though you don't think, well, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, but you just expended energy, and then your brain takes it as that it's like a little guilt. That, the coulda, shoulda set in. I should be doing that. And so every time you see it, I should be doing that. Well, that takes mental energy. If it's not serving you, stop doing it.
Yeah. Or don't even put, like you said, don't
have it on your calendar. Have it, like one of the things that I have done, I have made a list of just, sites to look at, like links to look at. And if I don't get back to them for a week, well, okay, fine. Obviously I wasn't meant to look at it. let it go. Because otherwise you are spending so much mental energy thinking about all the things that you should be doing. So, and then quit. So back to one of my favorite things is quit beating yourself up for the things that you're not, and celebrate the things that you are.
Yes.
That comes into your schedule. Quit beating yourself up for the things that you're not doing, and celebrate the things that you are.
Yes.
Because when you can celebrate the things that you are and the things that you are doing, they give you life. It's like your soul sings.
Yes.
And that's where happiness comes from.
Yes.
And that's where joy comes from. And that's where enjoy the moment. And especially at this time of year, take the things off your plate that are not serving you. This is the Christmas season. You've got enough, and don't add stress to yourself. One of the things that we have done in our family is that we have now done like a gift giveaway. So this weekend we got all our names of who, we all drew names, and the person that I got, and it was like, okay, fine, yeah, now what? So now let's do some research to find out what they like to do. So that's what I did. Okay, find out from the people who will know. Find out what kinds of things that they like to do. You'll give me a list of things that they like to do. Not just what should I buy them. Come on, have a little kunstbei here. Not just what should I buy them, but what do they like to do? So I got a list of the things that they like to do, and I went, oh, now that one I could easily do. I can find, and so I'm done. And it's just such a relief. So now I'm done. All I have to do is wrap.
See, and that's I like that. I like that
that's simple. That can be that simple. You find out from the people that if you are buying for somebody, find out from the people who know of what things that they like, and pick something.
And then, then you don't have to worry about, getting something. And then they're like, okay, I really, and then they don't have feelings, and they're like, okay, do I really tell Barbara I really don't like this?
Right. Exactly. And it's more than, at least you've put some thought into it. You're not just going out and buying them a gift card to Amazon. I mean, and if you're going to do that, there are some people that, oh boy, they love that.
Well, I have to
love that.
I want to tell on myself now that you said that, because a lot of times I don't really know, or the people that might know them to what to get. So I just, everybody likes money. Everybody likes a gift card. So I'm like, okay, here's your American Express gift card. Go do what you want to do. And I feel like I put a little thought into it because I paid for the gift card.
Yes, exactly. You know, and the thing too is that you can buy one other little thing. Like my mom, she used to go all out and give us all sorts of presents and stuff. Well, then one year on December the 7th, one year she fell and broke her leg. Ooh. So she was flat out for Christmas. Well, guess what? That year, my father went out and bought all of us oven mitts. My mom put money in the oven mitts. That was the end of her shopping. From then on, we got one thing and money. And it was perfect. We loved it. We would think about all sorts of like, oh, what are we going to, we know mom's going to give us money. What are we going to do with it? And sometimes we would get together and what are you going to do with your money this year? You know, and that became part of the tradition.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't already have. So you're already expecting.
Right. Find what works for you.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I'm glad that the people that I did get gifts with the gift cards, they were happy. I mean, either way, they were happy about it. But then, like you said, I did get something that something like you said, something smaller with the gift card. Exactly. To let them know that I was thinking about them and, you know, in that way, but still here's what you can do with this too.
Yeah. And like one of the things that I have done many times, like especially if you like it's for a wedding or for somebody that you want something a little bit more than just a gift card, I would go to the bank and get the gold pieces, the dollar pieces.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I would have to go to a couple of banks to get them, depending on how much I wanted. But then I would buy a little dish and I would put a little thing on it that says, here's your pot of gold. And it was the little gold dollar pieces. And then they would have the fun of counting out how many of these little gold pieces there were. And I did that many times.
You know what? I like that.
Then they had the little dish. So that's what this show is about. This is kind of a tip show.
Right into because Christmas is right around this, but this is good.
Exactly. This is Christmas. But I have done that many times. Get some kind of little container that could be anything and fill it with the gold dollar pieces and then label it your pot of gold.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something. See, I wasn't even think. See, that's what I'm saying. This is where I say when you get together with others and they give you these ideas that you might not even thought about. That's why you need a community. You need people.
Why you need a community
and networking because I'm loving that. You know, I mean, sometimes I know there's another network that just sent me an email last week and said they're just having a get together online just to talk about Christmas ideas. I mean, just gift ideas. And just going to talk beyond that, not just Christmas, but just any kind of, you know, like birthdays or anniversaries, stuff like that. I said, that's kind of neat. I never thought of having a network where you just talk about ideas for that, like brainstorming and getting things from others. Yeah, exactly.
Because some people are so creative. I'm not one of them.
Well,
I mean, I'm creative in some things. Like I like to crochet and I used to do crafts and stuff, but I was really good at copying. Like I could look at something and go, oh, now I could make that. And I could copy things. But to come up with the idea in the first place, although the gift idea to put money in, I went to a wedding one time. I was going to a wedding and I said, it was like, oh, David, what are we going to do? I want to get, I don't want to, what am I going to get? And so then it was like, well, I want to give them money. And so we were going to give them money. And then it was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. So I went around to all sorts of banks and got the little dollar, the little dollar gold pieces.
Wow. Yeah.
And got gold paper for it and gold wrapping. And then a little, you can always find things, a pot of gold. And I put kisses in it because that was a pot. When they have their little pot of whatever it is from the chocolate kisses and all sorts of things like that. And it's like, but you're still giving them money, but you're giving them a little keepsake too.
You know, see, now you just said that you weren't creative. Look at you. Look what you just said. Take that back, Barbara. You are
okay. That's you know what? That's true. And as soon as I get my red glasses, it's going to be even more.
I know. I
I'm
can't wait
to
till
my
those
own.
glasses come in. I can't wait for to see those glasses. That's going to be awesome.
See my glasses. So
Yes. Well, oh, there's our mascot. You got to bring the mascot.
yes. Here's Tripod. She's
Tripod.
Tripod.
Now, okay. Now that we're talking about Tripod, real quickly before we bring our wonderful guest on, how did the Tripod get the name Tripod?
Well, grandchildren work at Tails. They don't now, but they at the time they worked. Two of them worked at Tails, and the Humane Society out here in DeKalb. Anyways, well, we got Tripod. Somebody dropped her off at the shelter, and her leg was out like this. We think she had been hit by a car. We think. We don't know, because her leg was out like a chicken wing. So they had to amputate. So Tails themselves, they amputated her leg because they couldn't fix it.
Oh.
And but we are a host home where animals come to give birth, or like we've had puppies and hand-fed cats and all that kind of stuff. We're a host family because there's so many of us. We all take turns. And so then Tripod came to us for recovery after her surgery, and she just never left. And so then one day I had said to Cara, I said, gee, because my cat died, a couple of years ago, but I missed having a cat. And so one day I said to Cara, I said, I think I might go over to Tails and get a cat. She said, you want a cat? I said, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to get a cat. Well, 10 minutes later, I had a fully equipped cat. Tripod went from being downstairs in recovery to upstairs in my room, and she's never left.
Wow. So you just called her, they just called her Tripod.
So the kids named her Tripod because she's only got 3 legs.
Oh, oh, wow.
So the kids named the animals. So, I mean, we had a bird named Flappy, and we've got we're down to only 2 guinea pigs, and we have a gecko. So, yeah, and then assorted cats and dogs, and in different stages of recovery.
Wow. Well, that, first of all, that's just so nice how you took Tripod in.
We took Tripod in.
Had to be leg amputated. Oh,
yeah.
So is she okay getting around? I mean, I know with 3.
She's fast. She's fast. And I mean, and it's just, but she knows she lives with me. She knows that
she got to be on her toes because
she just, yeah. She'll go roam around the house occasionally, but but she comes right back. She knows she stays with me. She knows me. When I come home, she's here. And
so that's our mascot. I'm so proud to have Tripod as our mascot on the show.
Tripod, yes.
I was like,
I think you were part of the one where she knocked down my my green screen. It was like, you can only laugh.
But
so now I don't try to keep her out.
And I'm glad you brought that up real quickly, because what we always say, Barbara, you just keep moving. The show goes on.
The show's
moving on. And that's how you show the flexibility that we have and things.
So on one note of that is one of the reasons why so many people. But what if this happens? Quit with the what ifs, people. So what if it does? Are you going to die? I did not die when Tripod knocked down my green screen. And we just laughed about it. And people thought, and it has become such a memory.
Yes.
It has become such a memory.
And a lesson learned memory too.
And a lesson in just life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah.
And just go on.
Just got to keep going on. So
keep going.
So we are going to go to our sponsor before we bring in our wonderful guest. And today we have, as I see her in the green room, Mrs. Rachel West. Looks like she's here today. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's an personal growth coach, empowering coach. And I know we're going to learn a lot from this lady, because I just love when people talk about empowerment and helping you grow and getting you to that next level in life and, all that kind of stuff. Because I think this is really good to have this now because we're starting the new year in a little while. So maybe some tips. Yeah, for all of us.
Yeah. So today's obviously going to be a tip Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday. You know what? Now that I'm thinking that maybe we should put that in our.
We should put that in our show notes.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. See, now you just gave me an idea.
A little idea.
But right now, the tip's going to be we have to make sure that we give our sponsors. So I'm looking here to see if they're coming on, and here they come.
Good Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
How are you doing?
Rachel? Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. And great for you to see you this morning on the Time to Shine Happiness Show. Thank you so much. Barbara always brings the wonderful guests, and I know you are one of them.
Rachel and I had such a great conversation. Well, it just when you meet somebody and you instantly know that it's like, oh yeah, we're in alignment. And when you can feel that you are in alignment with someone, then that works. And so then it makes for a great show because then you are in alignment. And your personal growth is one of my big things, and I love personal growth because if we talked about it in the first half. See, if you're not growing,
you have
the other.
Yeah, you're going the other way. So, Rachel, tell us about you. How did you get to be? How did tell us a little bit about your journey? I always love to see where people came from and how they got there.
Yes. So I will start with how I got here. I went to school for graphic design. I'm a creative. I heard you guys talking earlier. So I'm a creative. I went to school for graphic design. I'm originally from the Midwest. I live out in Las Vegas now. So about 8 years ago, right after college, I moved out to Las Vegas. There's no snow out here, so that's why I decided to move out here. My mom's here, and I thought that there was better career opportunities for me out here. So I packed up, moved out here, started applying for jobs, seemed very likable, and kept getting the same response, which was, oh, we're going to go with someone who has more experience than you. So I would get frustrated. How am I going to get experience right out of college if you aren't willing to take a chance? So I just got a job. And I really believe everything happens for a reason. We don't know it in the moment, but you will always find your why. So I just got a job at a coffee shop. I needed to pay my rent. I just moved here into an apartment all by myself, and I got a job at a coffee shop. There was another gal there that was also a graphic designer. And one day she jokingly said we should start our own business. So I took her seriously. We started our own graphic design and marketing business. And 4 years into it, we stumbled into NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It is the science and study of human behavior. So we decided to start studying this for communication, to learn the psychology of language and how people are processing information and how they're communicating. And we discovered that, or in that process, I discovered that I didn't want to be using the tools for marketing and communication, that I wanted to be using them to help people who struggle with mental health and addiction.
Right.
So I left the graphic design business to my partner in January of 2020. I opened my coaching practice, and I specialize in mindset, mental health, and addiction recovery. I chose that field because a lot of my family members struggled. So as I'm learning these tools, I'm thinking about all of these people in my life that I could help. Say could because they have to want it first before I could have the tools to help them. So that's how I got into it. I fell into it, and I believe that our paths lead us right where we're supposed to be. And that's how I got into it.
Yeah,
totally.
That's kind of how Barb and I started this show. We kind of fell into it a little bit, and because we had known each other for several years, and just it was like, all right, now's the time. And now that's why we're now the time to shine. Time to shine, having a show, because this is our time to shine. This is when women have to step up. We get to step up. Not we need to, but we should, but all that kind of stuff. But we get to step up and share our gifts.
Yes.
And share our calling. You were called into this. So anyways, we've just had, this is just going to be this is going to be a Tip Tuesday.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we have Nora here too. So I was like,
hey, good morning, ladies.
we love scheduling snafus.
Well, like you said, things happen for a reason.
Things happen for a reason.
We just like, what did we say earlier, Barbara? We just keep it going. So first of all, I want to appreciate you both. I call Lady Queens. So just let you know, when you hear Queen come out my mouth, I call Lady Queens because I look at you as royalty. And, since it is coming up for the new year, 2023, I think it would be nice to kind of give some tips on, how to kind of look at goals and maybe objectives that we're all doing, in our business, in our world. So before we do that, is it Nadia? I want to say, make sure I say your name.
Isn't it Nora?
Norda?
Yes.
Norda. Okay. So if you could just give 30 seconds just to tell the audience who you are, and then we'll kind of go around and talk about, tips and goals of what we're doing within our business.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me today, ladies. I'm glad to be here. My name is Noura Al-Masri, and I'm tax and accounting professional and the founder of Noura's Books. I actually work with nonprofit and nonprofit consultants. I help nonprofits get more funding, and I help in general all people and entrepreneurs to get more cash flow in their business and do their taxes and all of this good stuff.
Wow. When you said nonprofit, we had to talk because I know a few that I'm dealing with that we need to get some money for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So Nora, so that's wonderful. Yeah. So Mrs. Rachel Nora. So I want to start with Rachel again, go back to her. And Rachel, I know, you deal with the personal and empowerment within that field. So what kind of goals that you might give us some tips by, audience moving forward in the new year?
Tips on goals?
I would say how to handle, or even one of the things I was thinking too is how to handle this end of the year season, emotionally, because that's kind of where
in your area. Yes.
So many people do not handle Christmas well. They turn to other substances.
Yeah.
That, and then going forward, how they can progress into the new year.
Yeah. So the one thing that I always tell people is that we have to focus on things that we want as opposed to things that we don't want. You know, what do you want for dinner tonight? Well, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. We always say what we don't want. So focusing on the positive things, and then also around the holidays, focus on the things that we can control. We can't control how our family's going to be. We can't control outside things, our environment, but we can control ourselves. We control how we react to things. We can control how we adapt, meaning that if it is a family thing, you can control how long you're around your family. You can go for a short time instead of a long time. Everybody's situations are different, and everyone's triggers are different. So if you are feeling triggered, what can you do in this moment right now to get out of it?
Yes. That's good to create the boundaries. That kind of creates those boundaries for you. Instead of saying, because like you said, if you can't control the situation, you can control yourself. And you can control what you're going to be going into.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think even for me the other day, there was like a whole group of us and the conversation just went in a direction that I just was not comfortable with. And it was like, you know, well, I can either sit here and stew, because the rest of them were enjoying the conversation, but it wasn't a subject that I particularly like to talk about. And I said, you know what? I don't have to stay. And I was like, thanks, everybody. This was great. And I'll see you in 2 weeks when we meet again. And it was so freeing, because prior to knowing about exactly what Rachel is talking about, having that comfortableness to say, hey, you know, this isn't for me right now, and leaving it. So thank you, Rachel. That was like, I did the right thing.
Yeah.
Because we always second guess ourselves that, oh, what are people going to think? Well, too bad. I wasn't comfortable with the conversation, and it was bothering me.
Yeah, and they don't have to know the reason. You just say, oh, well, I got something to do.
I just remembered I have something to do.
Like, I got a meeting. Oh yeah,
I got another party to go to. I'm meeting a friend for a coffee or whatever, you know.
Whatever, yeah. And it's sometimes when you think about it, why? I mean, I know it's courteous to give like not an excuse, but a reason why you. But sometimes I feel like you don't have to. But I feel like, you know, our unconscious is like, okay, I need to say something because
yeah. Whatever you got to do to get yourself out of the situation. Otherwise, like Barbara, you're just gonna sit there and stew in it, and it's really not good for your mental health to just sit there and take it all in, and your thoughts on the whole situation are going. Your internal, I call it the bully in the brain, is going along, you know, with everybody else.
Yeah, it's funny because I have been in situations where, like Barbara, I sat there and I was like, okay, I really wish I could just go stage left right now. And now that, you know, you said that, Rachel, that, you know, why do you have to? You don't have to, you know.
You don't have to.
Sometimes we feel like we're obligated because we are already there, but it's good to know in your mind that, you know, you can get out of this. You don't have to stay here. You're not a creature to this. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we're not glued to the seat.
No, we're not glued to the seat. Okay, so I want to get to now, Nora, about, okay, now I know you deal with taxes and accounting and nonprofits, which is wonderful because that's helping the greater good out there. So you could just say any tips about that, or just anything what you want to, you know, give the audience to share.
So yeah, this is the very important time of the year, like where you should really look back into the year and see, have you done your bookkeeping if you have a business or nonprofit? Does your book looks good? Because even sometimes, like when you think you're doing your bookkeeping, and what I mean with bookkeeping, not just having a bank account, because this is not a bookkeeping. I know there's like a misconception about people like us. I have everything in my bank. This is not a bookkeeping. So if you don't have a bookkeeping, it's the time to really get your books cleaned, make sure your balance sheet looks good, and that ask your accountant to see like if everything looks good. And then also it's time to see, this is when people like do tax planning if they didn't do it earlier on the year, and if they do it, they can just look and see if anything changed, if they still in the plan, because now they still have time to do stuff. Like if there's like strategy they have to do, if there's a purchase they can make, so they can invest in their business and in their investment, instead of just giving it to IRS, because tax law is created the way that encourage you actually to do something. But because we don't understand tax law, we don't understand how it created, we always like think like we have to pay all these taxes. We don't pay attention and be proactive about really plan for taxes and do really tax planning, see if we are in a right entity choice and everything else, if we have, and see what's gonna come, so we can plan and try to avoid it the right way. And then set the budget for next year to see, and also evaluate what happened last year, and to make sure like we avoid it, and to make sure also we can reach our goal for next year. Because if we don't plan, it's hard to stick in the budget. Or like if you wake up in the morning and you don't have a list, you might miss a lot of stuff. Like you cannot do it because it wasn't in your list. You'll be like less productive. You cannot do what you should have done. And next day, the end of the day, I'm like, I haven't done this and I haven't done this. Maybe a few days later, you think, okay, I was supposed to do this like few days later. So I got myself into the habit of writing every morning, like, okay, this is what has to be done. Same thing with the budget. Like you have to set a budget now and then really look at it in a daily basis, in a weekly basis, and make sure you are in alignment with your budget and with your goals, business goals, personal goals, everything, to make sure you achieve it by the end of the year. This is the only way. So this is in terms of financial. And same thing goes with a nonprofit. Like what are you gonna do for next year? How did funding come last year? Are you in compliance? Everything. Evaluate everything in your nonprofit, in your personal life, in your business. So this is a good time to do it. And don't wait until January or February to put your goals. Put it now for 2023.
I love how you said that, because I know, I'm sorry, Barbara, real quickly, that you need to look at your goals going with your budget. And I think that we need to look at that every year, not really quarterly, to be honest with you, to make sure that you're on target, or some things that might not be working. You know what? That's not even, maybe I shouldn't even put that in there, or maybe wait till next year to do that. So that gives you that strategic, eye in thinking budget compared to your goals and objectives, and everything aligning up to that.
Yes. Actually, like if you ask me, like you have to look at that weekly, because how many weeks do we have over the year? So just check yourself. This is when you have to know your number, make sure you're staying in budget. And if you need to increase something, like you can increase it. Your income might increase in a range that you did not expect it. So I'm like, okay, now I can do this. Or maybe wait, or maybe this is going to be more return on investment if I hire someone instead of just like, spend it on this, because there's no return on investment on this. This is going to help me more. So you can always judge and evaluate what you're doing, because we're growing every day. We're not the same person happened yesterday. So we always have to evaluate what we put.
Yeah, definitely. I know for myself, I have a budget where it's like investing in myself, like, learning or training or everything. And after that, I have a certain cap. And sometimes people come at the end of the year, especially with the Black Fridays coming up, everything. Oh, get this training, get this and this. And, if I spent out my budget for it, unfortunately, I had to look and say, well, I'm going to have to pass on that. Or if I look at the budget and see if I can fit it in there, then, maybe I will invest in it with that point. But that's kind of my boundary. It's like, okay, I spent, I'm just going to throw it out there, maybe $8,000 on me. On investing and learning. Right. Now I'm done. Until the next year, I have my new budget for that. And companies do that all the time. I mean, when you think about it, companies do that all the time. So I think
exactly.
This is good to look at that.
And it can be have your reference. It's not like, I'm sorry. You have a reference, like your boss. Like you're not just like asking your brain without having any reference to go to.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the things for me that strikes me is that we're talking about the same things that we are talking about can apply to our business and also to our personal.
Yes.
Is that take stock of where you are. And I have to admit that I don't always do that. Like in in the financial side of it, I'm always very aware of. But Barb, that was a great lesson too, is that set a budget. And one of the things for me that I got caught last year was that I had not put enough money aside for taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And when at the end of the year, it was like, well, I was like, what? Where did that come from? So this year, much more aware of, okay, this I'm going to have, because this is cash money coming in. I have to prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh, wow.
And you know what? This is still, like you just said, Barbara, all this flows, like what, Rachel was talking about. All this flows within personal growth,
coming into your
financial growth, and spiritual growth. I mean, all that, when you think about it, that's that whole pie of the puzzle. I feel like in everybody's life that you have to look at, especially towards the end, especially at the end of the year, to say, okay, what I need to do in these groups in my life.
And find out which ones are serving you and which ones aren't. Because if you are if you're taking time to do something that you just dread, it's a chore, that's taking your emotional energy. That's taking your emotional wherewithal, which is what you are doing. That's how you're supporting your body and your mental state. Or or monetarily, it's how you're supporting your business. If it's not serving you, get rid of it.
Yeah, especially if it's not towards your goal.
if it's not taking you towards your goal, what's you're like, and I think this is the time of year to really revisit your vision. What's your vision? And did you make any progress towards that vision this year? If you did, you've had a successful year, and quit beating yourself up for the things that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And is about, we have a tendency, especially us as women, we beat ourselves up for a lot of things. And then I feel like that's that time waster. I call it time sucker, because it does suck your time up when you're so busy keep beating. And I think about okay, this 30 minutes that I sat here and beat myself up, I could have been doing something else to push myself through somewhere. See, Rachel, I see Rachel's like, yeah. Do you want to say something on that? Because I feel like that's something that we really need to touch on a little bit. It's really important not to do that.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to the bully in the brain and how you're communicating internally with yourself. So just making sure that you're aware of when that's happening, so you stop doing that. That's the number one thing. I think that it's just become habit to have that bully in the brain saying these negative things to ourselves all the time. It's like we say things to ourselves that we wouldn't never say to our friends, but we're okay with saying it to ourselves.
Yeah.
So just become aware of the things that you're saying and stop doing it.
Yeah. He said, stop it. We need to love on us more. Yes, it's funny how you just said we can love on like I can love on Bar, I can love on Rachel, no, I can love you all to death. And I do that with people. But when it comes to me, it's like, and why is it like that? It shouldn't be that way. You could do both, and you should love yourself first so you give the love to others. And that's what I always say. So yes, we need to stop it. I like how Rachel said, just stop it.
Yeah, I'm kind of training myself to do that now. Like, you have to be nice to you.
Yeah, you have to.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah, get yourself that little cupcake with the candle in the middle.
Back to the beginning of the show. Today's National Cocoa Day. Hot chocolate is so soothing.
See, I'm gonna get some. You're making me want some hot chocolate now, bro. You keep talking.
I think I might have to put some water on the stove.
I see. Yeah, you're pushing all of us here. That cocoa. But yeah, if that makes you content and makes you happy, put a smile on your face, why not?
And now I know it's good for my digestion. So I like
It's a health thing too, right? So there's that other part of it. Well, ladies, I know with time here, we just first of all honored that you're here. I want to make sure that they hear how they can contact you because you two are doing such a world changer thing here in the world. So I want to start with Rachel, if you can tell people how they can contact you.
The best place is to go to my website. It's empoweringgrowthcoach.com. You can find all my social media handles to connect with me there, my phone number and email as well, whichever way is best for you to reach out to me. Empoweringgrowthcoach.com.
Awesome, awesome. And my other queen here, can you tell them how they can contact you for taxes and all that good stuff and nonprofit?
Sure. So I am on all social media, YouTube, and I've been doing actually also a lot of YouTube around tax season. So they can go to Noura's Books, NOURASBOOKS.com. That's my website, and also that's my YouTube. That's my Instagram. So and they can book a free strategy session so we can talk.
Wow. Cool. So we always welcome the queens back. So anytime you want to come back on the Time to Shine show, you are more than welcome. I mean, we honor and adore you. And thank you for, like I said, being those world changers, because you're both making a huge difference in people's lives and what you do in your business. And Miss Barbara Ellis, the BB, the other VP of the BBs. Thank you as always. So what do you always say, Barbara? We always got to end it with your mission.
Our mission is to make happiness the norm rather than the exception, because each and every one of us, we all deserve. And I truly want this to be out to people. Every one of us deserves to lead a happy, healthy, financially free, abundant life.
Yes.
It starts with us, though. We have to choose to have that.
Yeah.
So that's where personal growth comes in. You deserve it. You deserve it. And now just do the work.
Do it, like Rachel said.
Do it.
Okay, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday. And thank you, Queen, for coming on the show.
Bye, everybody.